What's up YouTube, I'm back with another video, and in this tutorial I'll be talking about the light dynamics and its correlation with the shading, how the light behaves and what impact it has on the object. So for this tutorial, making you people understand what light dynamics is, I've taken a real capsicum and I'll be taking the reference image by myself. Now since the shadow is falling on the right hand side and it is quite short, so we are pretty sure that the light source is on the top left corner, and this little white spot, that is the highlight, which is the direct reflection of the light source, and on the leftmost portion of this capsicum direct light is falling over it because the light source is on the left hand side. That's why it will have the lightest of the tones. And if you notice carefully, some light is reflected from the surface, and in the midst of the shadow you will see a reflected light. So apart from highlight and core light, we also have reflected light, and it is there almost in all the subjects. And apart from these variants of lights, we also have shadows and midtones, which will have a little less darker or values in the middle, and shadows will have the darkest values. Now let us understand all these aspects with the help of a simpler object. So in this instance as well, we will take the light source from the top left corner because it was the same in the capsicum reference image as well. So this portion is the highlight. You're not supposed to shade the highlight because it is the reflection of the light source. So this portion will have the lightest or no value at all. And now I'm marking here the core light or the direct light, the area which is directly exposed to light. In this portion, the light reflection is not there, but light is directly falling over it. So this portion will have the lightest of the tones. Yes, definitely it will be shaded, but with the very light tones. So for drawing this portion, you can use 2H, HB or 2B pencil. Now we've come to the area with the darkest values, for which we'll be using an 8B, 10B or a 9B pencil. So these areas are the shadows. The form shadow that is on the object, and the cast shadow that is falling on the ground. And in this tutorial we will also be talking about when and how we are supposed to use which pencil. So before that, I am marking this area called the reflected light. It is the most ignored areas. People do not consider this because it does not come into notice. So as you saw in the capsicum picture as well, it was a little difficult to notice. So what happens is, from the light source, the light is falling and it is bouncing back from the surface and then hitting the object again. Now the only area that we are left with is the mid-tone or mid-tones, because there will be a lot of tones in the middle. So these are the things that we are looking for in an object, especially when we are drawing still life. So let's get started with the capsicum. So here I am roughly drawing the proportions of the capsicum. These may not be perfect because we are only concentrating on the light dynamics and its correlation with the shading. So let's just quickly draw the proportions and move on to the shading part. So we will start here by giving it a lightest possible shade. So here I am using an H pencil because that is the lightest pencil that I have. I could have also used a 2H pencil, HB pencil, but this is the lightest pencil I have. That's why I am using this. And since in this drawing I will also be smudging the shades, because the kind of texture we need, smudging is something that is inevitable here. So first I'll give it a lighter shade with the H pencil, then I'll use the flat watercolor brush for smudging, and then I will move to a B pencil or a 2B pencil. So we are not going to simply switch to a darker pencil. I slowly increase the value with an H pencil, then I slowly move to a B pencil or a 2B pencil if the darker shades are needed. So let us understand how smudging actually works. So you cannot complete the drawing and later smudge it. So what you have to do is you have to smudge a single tone at a time. So for example, I am currently working on the mid-tones. So now I am currently smudging only the mid-tones, and I am making sure that the brush doesn't blend the lighter tones. So after smudging the value of that particular tone, it decreases a little. So that's because the graphite that was there on the surface area, now we have smudged it. Now the surface area has increased, but the graphite content is still the same, so the value tend to decrease after smudging. So you have to rework over it if you want the value to increase. So notice carefully, I am working on the mid-tone currently, and after that I will switch to the brush for blending, and I will run the brush only over this mid-tone. I'll make sure that the brush doesn't blend the lighter tones around it. And now I will move to the lighter tones, and now I will smudge the lighter areas. You cannot do it together. And after using the brush on the mid tones, since now I have moved to the lighter tones, I have cleaned the brush. So make sure that the mid tone graphite particles are not there, stuck in the bristles of the brush. Now you can see I'm working on the shadow part, which is the darkest part. So how will I increase the value? Will I simply switch to an 8B or 10B pencil? No. First I will use the 2B pencil, then I'll slowly move to a 4B pencil, then to a 6B pencil, and then if there is any need, then I'll move to the 8B pencil. So just notice that. So currently the pencil that I'm using is a 6B pencil. Before that I used a 4B pencil, and the blue one before that was a 2B pencil. So that's the process of reaching the darker tones or increasing the value. So currently I'm working on the shadow area, the form shadow that is there on the object. So for that I'm using a 4B pencil, and after using the 4B pencil I'll be smudging it. Just notice the way I smudge it. I will just smudge on the area, on the darkest area, on the area that I have worked on. So on just one tone, this dark tone that I am working on, I'll smudge that tone, and after that I'll move to a 6B pencil, and then I'll smudge it again, and then I will move to an 8B pencil. So this pencil that I'm currently working with is a 6B pencil. Earlier I was using a 4B pencil. So I used a 4B pencil, smudged it, and then I moved to a 6B pencil. So notice that currently I am working on the reflected light. So these are the lighter tones. Not lighter tones as compared to the shadow part. The tones are a little lighter, but of course this is a mid-tone. But since I've already used the brush over the darker tones, so now I will clean the brush. I'll make sure that there are no 8B or 6B particles stuck in the bristles of the brush. After cleaning it, then I'll use it again on only the reflected light area, which are the mid-tones. So now you have to use the brush carefully, and that is why I'm using a flat brush, because you can work on the tightest of the areas. So now I'm working on the mid-tones. I'm making sure that the brush does not run over the darker tones. And notice this clay-like thing that I have in my hand. This is a kneadable eraser. You can knead it and change its shape, and you can work on the tightest areas. And notice if you are using a normal eraser, then it won't be able to erase the area that you've smudged it. It will it may smudge it further and may ruin the sheet forever. So make sure you're using a kneadable eraser, because it is very effective. It has this glue in it, so if you simply just dab the eraser over the area, it will just, all the graphite will stick to the eraser, and the area will have all the tone, all the shading will be rubbed off. So this little tiny stem that I'm working on, it wasn't there in the original picture, but I wanted it to look like a realistic capsicum, so I have drawn it by myself, and I am shading it on the basis of light dynamics. So leftmost part of it will have a lighter shade or no shade at all, and the rightmost will have the darkest shade. Why? Because light source is from the top left corner. Now we are almost done with it, and I'm making sure that the tones are totally correct. If there are some changes, if I want to lighten a tone, I'll dab the kneadable eraser and then shade it again and smudge it. And if I have to increase the contrast, then I'll use the darker pencil. So now we're done with the drawing. Now let's just mark the areas. The core shadow, that is in the capsicum, and the one on the ground is the cast shadow. And this light spot with no shading at all is the highlight. And you can also notice a reflected light area because of the tone variation between the shadows and reflected area. And similarly, you can see the core light area, which is the lightest area, and the mid-tones. And this area here with the moderate amount of shading is of the mid-tones. And now you're clear with what is highlight, the shadows, the reflected light, the mid-tones, and the direct light. And you also know about the different tone variations that should be there. For example, if it is highlight, there shouldn't be any shading in that area. If there is shadow, then you have to use the darkest pencils like 8B, 9B or 10B. So now you would be able to give the depth in the object. That is very important and something that is driven by light dynamics. And when it comes to the shading part, I've already told you when to switch the pencils and how to smudge. So if you still have any questions, write it down in the comment box. I'll definitely reply. I hope this tutorial was helpful and it helps you becoming a better artist. So share it with anyone who likes to draw. I'll see you in the next video.